Bienvenue au Grand Prix de Monaco de la Zoom Racing League en première division. Welcome everybody to ZRL Division 1. Our season ends tonight and with the most demanding circuit of the F1 calendar. The tight and twisty streets of Monaco offer us 19 corners at just a little over 2 miles long with only a single DRS zone at the pit straight. Tonight's challenge for our drivers will be to achieve near perfection during a single timed lap in order to rank fastest among the best drivers in ZRL. Full qualifying ahead of us, as we all know, the qualifying position will be key to a strong performance in this season finale. John Ranger here to provide commentary with you guys, and as well as accompanied by our driving expert and young prodigy, Nathan Doan. Nathan, we got a couple drivers out on their out lap right now. No real times being settled here. First of all, welcome to the booth, as usual.
Thank you.
Glad to have you with me. Figured, obviously, we've seen last weekend Cody Lawrence clinching the drivers' championship, but there's still the constructors to be officially clinched. Well, how about you walk us through the standings, and I'll follow you with the drivers or constructors as you wish.
Well, I'd like to do that, but first off, I would actually want to follow along a hot lap with Dane Clem here. He's going through the tunnel section now.
Let's go.
Yeah, if you got that settled.
Is that Dane Clem going through there? Because I see him in the pits.
Okay, that might be.
Oh, I see him driving in the pits, actually. I see his telemetry driving as if he was in the pits. What in the world?
Well, I'll take you through it. He's going through the swimming pool chicane right now. He's at purple sector 1, sector 2. A bit slow through the chicane into La Rascas now. Very easy on the braking. Takes a good exit out of the corner. Through Anthony Loads, the final corner now. He's going down the final straight. We want to hug the wall on the right. I don't think you're seeing any of this, but he has his set 110, 291.
No.
Did you at least see that?
He's in the pits. I see him having a time, but he's absolutely in the pits. Really weird kind of situation going for Dane Clem here. So, maybe it's just a glitch. Is there other drivers out on the laps?
We have Kyle Blevins on the intermediates, Hector Ochoa, mediums, Arrow just crossing the line now.
Okay, I'm seeing Quentin K all the way down to Jakub Karsowicz in the pits currently.
Yes, that is correct.
But Dane Clem for me is glitch. Okay, great. Thank you, Codemasters, once again.
I'll take you to now.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes in that regards for Dane Clem. I think it's just one driver glitch. Going into Q2, if the glitch is still there, I guess I'll restart the game and try to get that pulled in here. But let's continue. Let's continue on. Apologies for not being able to see his actual race. He's just stopped in the pit. I don't know if you see on the broadcast. He's stopped in the pit box, driving away. But yeah, that's
interesting.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, let's do the standings here.
Let's go.
All right. So of course we have our championship winner, Cody Lawrence. He's won it by quite a good amount. He's had podiums in all races he's finished except 2 of them. And then after him is, of course, his old rival, Eric Cavallo. Now he's not going to be able to put up any fight whatsoever. It would have been a stretch if he could have. Apologies for the dogs in the background. After that, of course, we have Marc-Olivier Bastien, the Canadian driver. He's in 3rd place and still just a little bit far behind Eric Cavallo. After that, we have the 2 Alpines of Quentin K and Dane Clem. Dane Clem still on kind of a rise here. We have 3 podiums in 4 races. That is a very good job from the Alpine driver to get himself up in the 5th place. After that, Aston Martin team principal Aaron Altmaier. After that, Hudson Poole. You know the situation with him, of course. Win and fastest lap last race. Ryan Newton in 8th place. Marcel Paps in 9th. Cam Bourne 10th, 11th goes to Hector Ochoa, 12th to Magnussen Cube. Jakub Karsowicz takes it home for 13th place. After him is Philemon Goulet, Luc Leclerc after him, Maxime Borio after him, Kyle Blevins in 17th place. Major Castleman comes after Logan Dukes and waiting sort of to top it off. After that, of course, we have the Constructors' Championship that is yet to be clinched by Mercedes. I believe that a 1-2 finish and a double DNF for Mercedes. That's a 1-2 finish for Red Bull or Alpine, of course. A 1-2 for them and a double DNF for Mercedes. That would mean that one of the 2 does take the win instead of Mercedes. But Red Bull in 2nd place, Alpine 3rd place, Alfa Romeo in 4th, Haas in 5th place, Williams actually in 6th place, Aston Martin 7th, Ferrari 8th, 9th McLaren, and of course AlphaTauri last.
Yeah, concerning Mercedes, we could all agree it is pretty much clinched, as it should be. There's got to be an absolutely catastrophic kind of situation for it not to work out for them. However, there's only 4 points separating Red Bull and Alpine, 3 points separating Alfa Romeo and Haas. Williams is still in there. I think Quinton Kay is very fast in Monaco. He had his racing debut with us here in Monaco and had extraordinary debuts until an unfortunate incident ended his race. And then Ferrari, McLaren, and AlphaTauri, the last 3 positions are held only by 6 points. And Ferrari, they're not putting themselves in a good situation here in Division 1. There are no regular drivers here. You talked about Major Castleman again, who's missing, I believe, a 3rd race in a row, a 2nd race in a row, actually, but only did 2 races so far this season. And so we've got Legendre, as you'll see, in P7 currently, where I think it's P7. I think I'm having issues with my my timing screens here. As Quinton Kay, I believe, sets the fastest lap, 109.7. I just said he's very quick here in Monaco, and that's Q1, right? That's a really good lap in Q1, and rumor has it he may be able to bring it down to a 108. We'll find out if that is true or not. And so that being said, yeah, the top drivers, the top constructors, top drivers, everything's kind of settled. We'll call it as it is for Mercedes, but there's still a lot to be played for Red Bull, Alpine, Alfa Romeo, and in constructors it's important because that will be tallied for the combined constructors and eventually for the drafting order of the next draft for the next season, which will be on F1 23. Apologies for that. There you go. So as we're saying this, I don't know, Nathan, kind of putting you on the spot here, so we'll see if we can make it happen. We've got a long qualifying and obviously a long race ahead of us. I don't know if Duncan McCamick could come in here and give us a few leaks, a little information here as we're on board with those Adi Biazza, who is a reserve driver in the Alfa Romeo and who just binned it right into the wall going down Casino and into Mirabeau here. And I believe there's wing damage. Yeah, definitely missing a wing plate there, so he'll be unfortunately for him, it'll be he'll have to go back into the pits. Luckily, though, he was on the mediums and didn't waste a soft tire for that. Nathan, I just want to check with you real quick. I know you're maybe trying to poke Duncan McCamick or maybe doing a weather check real quick. Concerning Dane Clem, I still see him in the pits. Is that the correct thing for him? Like, he had a lap time earlier and it kind of disappeared on my screen, so I don't know if I'm seeing the right thing.
I mean, yeah, he's in the pits right now. His lap time is still there on my screen, though. It's a 1:10.291. He's 2nd place right now. It's an Alpine 1-2 front row lockout at the moment.
I don't see his time on my thing, so apologies for the people watching us on the stream. I'm hoping by Q2 it is fixed. Otherwise, I'll just do a quick intermission, reset of the game for a second time. I got kicked out by going into the lobby, and we'll fix it up. Do we have a time for Hudson Poole, or is he about to start his fast lap?
I think he's about to start his fast lap. He's going through Anthony Nodes now.
All right, if you want to walk us through it, Nathan.
Yeah, of course. So it's going to be very deep braking into turn 1. You want to take a lot of the inside curb as well. We'll see if he does that, and he does a bit low speed through the corner, but it's flat out in 4th gear, all the way down through Barbavage, and now into this corner I can't remember the name of.
Massenet.
And then it, Massenet into the right corner of Casino Square into Mirabeau now, braking very late and want to keep the car rotating through the corner. It's a bit of a banking through there. We have a Williams ahead as he goes through the Lowe's hairpin, or I believe it's called something else now, and through this little corner here and into Portiere as he gets a little bit of a slide out of that exit, and he gets another slide through that exit. Maybe he was distracted by the car ahead, does cause the yellow flag, or maybe that is because of the Williams into a Nouvelle chicane now. We'll see if his braking takes him far enough, and it does. No invalidation, although he did cut the curb quite aggressively. 5th gear through this corner to back, of course, then through this very beautiful section, and then through a swimming pool chicane, hits the wall on the inside a little bit and on the exit here, and into Lorascas now, a deep braking 2nd gear, good exit out of it. And then through Anthony Nodes, the final corner, easy to lose traction, but he does not do that. You want to keep to the right as much as you can, and he goes across the line now to go 2nd. 1:10.197, about 1/10 clear of Dane Clem in third place.
Really a good lap on his part. I see him in P2. I'm really hoping to eventually see Dane Clem on the track from my things here, so a little bit of a visual glitch here. I've just noticed, I don't know if you saw what happened, but Arrow in P15, reserve driver in Alfa Romeo, looks like he's retired at a 1:11.7. He's quite obviously not going to go through Q1 here. We got 17 drivers, right? So Q1 will have, usually it's position 16s down to 20 that get eliminated. The five slowest drivers get eliminated from Q1. In this situation, we've got P16 and P17. On your screen, you see it as Adibiaza and Dane Clem. It should normally be Legendre, so Aero, and Adibiaza, P15 or P16 and P17, who currently would be getting eliminated at the end of Q1 unless they improve their times sufficiently to get through. And there's a little bit over 4 minutes left, so maybe 1 lap left for most drivers, who are just most drivers are in the pits right now. So I think just waiting for the track evolution to you know get warmed up and have the better conditions. Let's see if we can get somebody else on track. I believe it's Hector Ochoa, who's oh, is that I think it's an end lap currently on the mediums. His battery is very, very low. That's going to cost him his time, and so I think he's going on an end lap currently. Most definitely invalidates to the chicane there, so that's an end lap for him. Jack Fletcher is a reserve driver. He's about to come out of the pits. I believe it is Eruption. No, Eruption's on a fast lap, so let's go on board with him for the end of his lap. He's at a 1:10.0. That would put him in P3 behind Quentin K and Dane Clem. I would say 1:10.0. I think down to Ryan Newton, maybe even Eric Cavallo, top 5 currently. I think their times are rather safe, and really interesting to notice. You know, 1:10.4 for Eric Cavallo on medium tires. That's pretty good. That is good for him. Okay, Dane Clem's lap time just appeared on my end, so he's got a 1:10.2. Since he retired from session. So a lot of drivers are retiring. So there you go. You got a bunch of drivers who feel comfortable enough with their lap times who are retiring for Q1. There's no too much damage, too much risk of getting eliminated out of Q1 in that kind of situation. Obviously, you want to spare your tires, get an extra set of softs if possible, for well, Q2 and Q3. And that would be it. I just want to run through you quickly, Nathan, the drivers. So we got Aero, who's replacing Major Castman and Ferrari. We should have had a replacement driver for Aston Martin, who is not here. Who do we have? Anand Trivedi is in the Haas, replacing Wayden Silva. Jack Fletcher is reserving for Logan Dukes in the McLaren. And Adi Biaza is replacing for Flemo Goulet. Flemo Goulet, who I don't think we've seen over the past couple races. If I look at the drivers, yeah, he hasn't raced last race and didn't have a great race in round 7 either in Japan. No, actually, we had a decent race. I was looking at the clock there. So he didn't race last weekend in Austria, nor is he racing here in Monaco. So essentially, ladies and gents, that's going to be the end of Q1. Got a couple drivers who's going to try to improve on their laps. We're on board with Magnussen Cube and the AlphaTauri. But as the time goes, we're seeing a lot of drivers who are improving, or a couple drivers going out. I expect Jack Fletcher and Adi Biazzi to try to pull on good laps. Actually, everybody from positions 10 down are going on the safe bet to try to have a better lap. I think Magnussen Cube just invalidated his lap and he's got a 1:11.1. He should be safe. Jack Fletcher and Nadia Biazza has got to improve by nearly a second, and Jack Fletcher does that exactly. That's a 1:10.7 for him, P9. That puts officially Aero out of Q1. He's put 1 lap and then retired. I don't know exactly what made him retire. And then Abidiaza, that's a little bit of a mouthful. He's slow going through the swimming pool here, so I think he's going to try for a final lap here. I don't know, Nathan. 60%. Does he have enough ERS to put it in hot lap mode for the rest of the lap?
I mean, even if he did, I think he'd be kind of slow through the lap, because when I've seen him on a hot lap so far, he's been kind of lacking in pace. We'll see what he can do, though. He does take turn 1 quite nicely. Yeah, through here, through the turn 3, of course, he's taking a bit of an interesting line into 5th gear, back into 4th. I mean, at this pace, he's down on his previous time, and he's got quite a lot of ground to gain. He needs to gain 4 tenths to get into Q2. Actually, it'd be 5 tenths.
Yeah.
And at this pace, it looks like he'd be able to. Driver that really needs to get out of the danger zone is, of course, Hector Ochoa. It would mean a lot if he could get into the next phase of qualifying for Mercedes, of course, as they need to really pick it up here for the final stage, well, the final race to secure the constructor's title. Looks like he'll be doing just that. He's flying quite nicely through all these corners here, the deep into Rascas, but I don't think it will matter too much. Final corner for Hector Ochoa. He goes down to the line. He's going to be the first one out of all our qualifiers to reach the line last. It's going to be good for P8, and he is safe, I'd assume. Maxime, the next one across the line, he is in the danger zone if, well, actually, no, he's
safe. Yeah. 15 is safe, so it is Aero, so both Alfa Romeo reserve drivers, P16, P17, dead last. Adibiaza was trying to pull a lap there on 4 laps old softs, and we know that by the second, even the third lap, those tires don't perform very well whatsoever in qualifying. So that is the end for them. You know, he's been out for 4 laps at Adibiaza, so he could have, you know, he definitely had the time to pit. I don't know if he did pit, maybe he forgot to change his tires whatsoever, and, you know, that could have maybe helped him get a little bit quicker, but he had almost 6 tenths on Max and Bowler to gain in order to go into Q1, and so into Q2, sorry. So that is the end of Q1 already. Quentin K with the fastest time at a 109.7. Eruption and Hudson Pool following closely behind, and Dane Clem in P4. Fast times already to begin with in Q1. We're gonna have Q2 in just a moment's time. Nathan, might as well get to it with you. What are your thoughts about potential pole position? Are you putting a toonie on Quentin K? As you know now, been streaming with me, you know a toonie is $2 Canadian.
Yeah, of course. I'd say, I think at this pace with all these drivers, I mean, Quentin K does have a 2.5 tenth gap, but I think we might have a little surprise from his teammate, of course, Dane Clem. He set his lap very early, and that's why he's only 4th, but I think my toonie is personally on him. He's going to go for pole position tonight, and that's my feeling.
You know what? It's the kind of race we might see an Alpine versus Alpine kind of situation. Let me pull up the drivers standing once again. Look at P4 and P5. It's Quentin K at 139 points, and Dane Clem, who's only raced 4 races so far with his double win in Belgium and Japan, at a 121. And so Quentin K had some great races to begin the season. Dane Clem was not part of Division 1 as at that moment. He joined mid-season in round 5 and has been really consistent in putting in top 5 results the entire time. And now he's caught up to his teammate. And so I wonder what the team orders are going to be in Alpine. Will Quentin K and Dane Clem try to both achieve the highest positions, or will Dane Clem try to get the better position on Quentin K as much as possible in order to get the points and finish P4 in the driver's standing? So, you know, I think by Q3 we might see a good challenge between Quentin K and Dane Clem.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to have a real blockbuster finish to that battle in the championship. I believe one of them is coming out now, and it is Quentin K. Hopefully next time, actually, can you see Dane Clem out on out lap right now?
Good question. He is on the track. Yeah, he's going down. He's going to what's it called again? Turn 5, Mirabeau Haute. So Mirabeau, which is the top of the hill, you know, we call it Mirabeau Haute. There's a Grand Hotel hairpin, turn 6, and Mirabeau Bas, which is the bottom part of the hill, Mirabeau, and then going into Poitiers. So he's there. So I do believe my whole camera little glitch issue I had with Dane Clem is fixed. I'm hoping I don't have that issue with other drivers. Nathan, I'm sure, will let me know if there's something wrong there. At least I should know if some person is going full throttle inside their pit box and shifting gears. That's a good sign that something's wrong.
Yeah, I'm looking at right now Eric Cavallo. He's on the medium tires again. He said his previous time on the medium tires. Still a lot of life in the tires, no doubt about it, but I think he'd want to go for the softs right about now. I'd assume that his next run will be on the soft tire, but he might even get through on this medium lap. We'll have to see. Last time around, I believe he said a 1:10.4 as he hits the wall on the inside just a little bit. We'll see what his first sector time is. If it's anything good, it is quite nice, actually, an 18.796. He's got his teammate ahead of him, but I don't think he'll have to worry about traffic whatsoever. Now he's going into Poitiers through the tunnel now. We'll go on the onboard camera. I think actually it takes a kind of a low line. Normally what I found is that you want to take a bit of a high line so you can just, the car won't bottom out as much and you will lose just a bit of time if you take that bottom line. He doesn't do so whatsoever. Going through to back now into this very fast section. He's going to have to be very precise on the brakes, and he is 5th gear through the swimming pool chicane. Does a very nice job into the Rascast now. 2nd gear, great exit for him. Might be a very great lap for the Haas driver. First goes Beamer NG, of course an Entrevetti, and then his teammate is definitely going to take him, and yes he has. Only about half a tenth off his first lap on the medium tires. Yep, car switch does go second, and there he is, Dane Clem. Hopefully you saw that lap, because it was quite a fire. 4/10 clear of Eric Cavallo, who is still in second, even though some soft tire runners were behind him. I believe Cody Lowen set his time on, oh actually he set it on soft tires, so he's a bit off the pace relative to maybe his competition. Maybe he's just taking it slow, maybe he doesn't want to, you know, spend too much
about
time
to
on
cross the finish line, so we'll see a lap from Quentin K. That is a 1:10.2, so a little bit of 10th and a half behind Dean Clem, so Dean Clem still keeps P1 and Q2 so far. Now what's interesting, Nathan, is the number of drivers in Q2. We've got just about half the grid. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers out of 15, so there you go, half the grid on medium tires. Is this just because it's their banker lap and they expect, you know, they're going to use their soft tires towards the end of Q2? Is that what's going on?
I mean, they will have plenty of sets of soft tires, so I don't really see the worry to go on medium tires now, but if they think they're fast enough on medium tires, then I guess go right ahead. But yeah, I think that's just the case that they think they have enough pace, and some of them do. I don't think an 11-1 though will be good enough to get through. Maybe a 10-5 from Eric Cavallo, of course, but yeah, it's just, I think that's the case. Some other people are going on used soft tires. I believe that's the case with both Alpines, although Dane Clem's tires did look a bit fresher than Quentin K's, so maybe a bit of a different situation with those two. Maxime is another one who's going on the medium tires now. He's just starting his lap. Yeah, some of these drivers here are on pad or, you know, Xbox controller, PS4 controller,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. And I think those drivers will suffer the most here at Monaco. Monaco is just a track where you need such precise movements with your steering that it's really going to put them at a disadvantage here. You know, some of these corners, you really have to crank the steering wheel, and it's just going to be difficult to do that on controller because sometimes it just doesn't do what you want it to. And that's why we see drivers like Beamer, although he does have a lap, he is 1.7 seconds off the pole position time right now, so definitely quite a pace difference for those two. I believe Maxime is on wheel. He has one of those fancy Fantech wheels.
Yep. Marc-Olivier Bastien is a regular streamer. He's also on pad, surprisingly. Marc-Olivier was also, he was, I think last season won a 0L race. I don't think he's got to win this season. No, he doesn't. I believe last season he did. He's doing all that on a pad, and so I think one of the better pad drivers I've seen on NZRL in Division 1, and he's about to go on his outlap. Maxime Beaulieu puts a 1:11.3 on the medium, so a lot of drivers going to the pits now. So we're seeing a lot less medium tire users, a lot of soft tires coming in right now. We'll go check on Marc-Olivier. I think he's starting, yeah, he's going up the hill of Beau Rivage and into Massenet in the second here in turns 3, and so let's go on board with the pad driver. You'll see if if you've ever caught his stream, which I do regularly because, you know, stewarding, we see some clips sometimes from them, and you really could see his inputs. And he's got a way of driving with his analog sticks, I could tell you. It's really interesting, and it's the fact that he's a really smooth driver with the analog stick. I remember way back then myself, not on F1 but in Gran Turismo, when I was a pad player, I'd use left analog for obviously control, and then the right analog for gas and braking. And so yeah, interesting times. It was many years ago, over 10 years ago. But now we got Marc-Olivier Bastien, who's going through the swimming pool chicane here, about to go around Rascasse. Turned 17 and 18 here. We'll see where he gets here in Q2. His finishing time might be mid 110s, or he's mid 111s. So Nathan, as you were saying, not an easy track for pad racers. And Marc-Olivier being P10 currently. Hudson Poole, Jack Fletcher have not made laps yet. I believe Hudson Poole's on a fast lap currently, or he's on a out lap, it seems. Looks like he's going on for a double out lap. Marc-Olivier puts himself in a dangerous position there. 111.5. It's not going to be quick enough to get through Q1. And now we got to be careful, because positions 11 down to 15 are drivers who are in the danger zone. So currently Cal, or not anymore, Cal Blevins just put a 110.3 in the Alfa Romeo. So we're looking at Marc-Olivier, Anand Trivedi, Magnussen Cube. Hudson Poole's not set a lap yet. Jack Fletcher, we'll see what kind of lap he could give. Look at Hudson Poole, Nathan. He is flooring it, shredding his gearbox. And no, it's not going to give him faster gear shifts, but he's trying to did a double out lap, and he's trying to get the lowest fuel amount of fuel possible in that tank before going on his fast lap. And I think he's going to start a fast lap right now.
Yes, he is. So yeah, he definitely needs to get out as car goes out the pit exit. Very dangerous if he hit that
immediately.
I
All
don't
that for
think
that.
it'd be a good for him. Yeah, Aero Carvalho actually. What a lap.
Wow.
Here, 110 clear of Dane Clem. Now he's back to Hudson Poole. I think he should just go back into the pits and maybe do another run on those tires, if not a different set.
My goodness. Have you seen Quentin K's lap? That's a 109.4, Nathan.
That is definitely faster than the D2 pole already. And with that, I think we heard he would be doing a 108, and I think we're definitely going to be seeing that very soon here. That is quite late in the session, so I don't know if any drivers will be able to challenge that. Definitely not his teammate. I think Dane Clem will save his tires and wait until Q3 to really put in some significant laps here. But it's going to take a lot of lap time to beat your teammate, especially with that. I mean, if you can set a 110.0, that's a good time. No disrespect to that, but 109.4, that's going to be very difficult to beat for everyone here.
Yeah, Cody Lawrence just puts up a P2 position here. It's a 109.7, so he's still about a little over 3/10 over Quentin K's time. And so there's quite a gap being put up there. You know, you'd expect to be able to go through Q3 if you're into 110. I'd say 110.5s would be a decent time, but I think with the Trike Evolution, it might be a little lower than that. I was just about to say, you know, Jakub Karsovic, we don't talk about the secondary drivers of the top teams a lot, but Jakub Karsovic, Hector Ochoa are sitting P7, P9, P7, P8. Really decent for a lap for him. For Jakub, I think he could get a little bit better than that. Once again, I think he's going to go into the pit lane at the end of this lap, and or no, it looks like he's going slow. So I don't know if he's gonna give way to Hudson Poole there. I don't know if he's gonna charge his battery and go for another lap on this used set already. He's on one lap on them, so we'll keep an eye on that. And Ryan Newton, I believe, just crossed the finish line, and he's put a 110.3, just barely behind Kyle Blevins. So 110.3 might be the save zone as much as possible, because if you're looking at P10 and lower, that's a little bit low. There's a couple drivers going through the timing. So Hudson Poole just finished his lap. He had enough in the tank for a lap there. That puts him at a 109.9, so that's P4 for him. Trying to see who else is on a lap. I think, okay, let's go on board with Dane Clem. Let's see if he can get a better time than Quentin K. Quentin is not going to go back for another lap, Nathan.
Yep. So now into the corner. I forgot the name. No, that's Casino Square. Okay, I know that one. Down into Mirbeau. Here is second gear, and I'm assuming he'll go right back into third. Yes, he does. Through the hairpin now. Second gear to just get a better exit than you would in first gear. Does just that. Bit tight through that corners, so it's all right. And through Portier, bit hesitant to turn in the car there. Turned in maybe a bit too early. Does he take the high lane that I was talking about? Yes, he does. So good job to just gain a little bit of time through the Nouvelle Chicane. This is where you can gain and lose the most time when he's invalidated this lap. I think he'll be safe here because many drivers here are in the pits. I don't know if he has enough time to maybe maybe charge the battery and go for another lap. If not, I just have no idea what happened there. It's an Aston Martin going right through him.
Yeah, I was wondering what's happening with that. I don't know if that's a desync issue or what happened there, but Maxime Beaulieu dives into the pit lane. He's sitting P13. Oh, that's going to be really close for him. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. He's just going to have time. I think he's going to have time to pull in, change his tires, and pull out because he's in the danger zone. He's invalidated his last lap, I believe, at a 1:11.3. It's not going to be quick enough to go to Q3. And by the time his car gets pulled in and he, gets back out and the traffic coming out of the pits, he might not have time to get a proper lap in and get the temperature to his tires. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's going to be close for him. Meanwhile, his closer rivals, Hector Ochoa, Jack Fletcher, Marc-Olivier, and Anand Trivedi, they are on the track, who are going to try to improve their times. And other drivers too. Everybody from P7 down are on their outlaps. I'm seeing Eric Cavallo as well. I think he's got an extra pair of soft, so he's just going to go for double soft runs in Q3, but he's not going to take any chances. I think everyone wants to make a statement here. He wants to go for top 3 and let everybody know, hey, I'm as fast as you guys, and he's going to try just that. He's sitting at a 109.9 with his previous soft tires. He's going to try for it again at the end of Q2 here. I'm going to go back with Maxime Beaulieu. I want to figure out, will he have time to get time? I think he's going to be okay. It's going to be a really close one. He can't cut the chicane to gain time. He shouldn't. And but I think he's confident in having enough time to go around the lap because he's not on his battery whatsoever. But he does have to give it the beans to get there in time. I suspect he's going to be our last driver through the finish line at the end of Q2, Nathan.
Yeah, right now on board with Eric Cavallo. He's what I'm noticing with this man is that he's very immediate with his auto inputs, which is really helping him through the slow corners. He's doing a great job of that. He's 1.5 tenths up on his previous time through Sector 1. We'll see if he can improve any more on that. I think, like you said, he just wants to make a statement lap here. Definitely doesn't need to be going out again, but he's on new tires. I think, if anything, he could be just, wow, he's gone 3 tenths up. This could be maybe potentially P2 here, if not any quicker, if he's made a mistake on his previous lap through Sector 3. He goes very nicely through the Raskas and now through Anthony Nodes. Like I said, always hug the right-hand side wall. And he's gone fastest, actually, by 0.004 of a second.
Goodness.
What a lap for Cavallo here.
Absolutely. We were talking about Quentin K versus Dane Clem. Ladies and gents, Eric Cavallo just joined the game. It's a 109.4 flat. And he's taking P1, P1 and Q2, right? So he's not starting pole position officially. But that was an absolute flyer of a lap. And Quentin K's got a bit of a challenge there. We'll see how these guys duke it out in Q3. Other drivers going through. We've got Ryan Newton. He puts up a P4 lap time. Jakub Karstowicz is in P8. Kyle Blevins in P9. Anand Trivedi has not improved sufficiently. He will be out. Marc-Olivier Bassin did improve, but not enough. He's just missing about less than a tenth, about half a tenth to be P10 on Eruption. Eruption might be improving his lap time. He's in Sector 3 going around the swimming pool. Very low on the battery, by the way, when he's doing this. Might be the reason why he doesn't improve on his lap time. P11, will Eruption be able to make it to Q3? And he does not. That is a 110.3. And so I was talking about the 110.5s being maybe the cutoff. Look at this. At a 110.3, you are out of Q2, as is Marc-Olivier Bastien, as is Maxime Beaulieu, Anand Trivedi, and Jack Fletcher. Those are your 5 eliminated drivers. And so that is it for Then we see eruption on the screen here, but that is Marcel Paps, as it should be for McLaren. And so here it is, your top drivers, your top 10 going to Q3. Eric Cavallo sits the better lap time at a 109.4 flat. Quentin K with 4 thousandths behind. Hudson Poole P3. Cody Lawrence, Ryan Newton, great lap for him, P5. Magnus and Cuban P6. That's a good time for the AlphaTauri driver. We're used to seeing him at the bottom 10. He's in the top 10. And he's been doing he's having a really nice end of the season so far in Division 1. Dane Clem P7. Hector Ochoa, Jakub Karsowicz, and Cal Blevins rounds out your top 10. We got 2 AlphaTauris, 2 Mercedes, 2 Red Bulls, and 2 Alpines. Great showing for the Haas driver Eric Cavallo as well. And so the top teams are performing, and a couple bottom teams did their best, but that is as best they could do. It is Q3 time. Sorry, under the lights of Monaco. Nathan, is that Tooney still on Quentin K, or are you switching to Eric Cavallo for the pole position?
I don't think I'll switch just yet because we have to keep in mind that Eric Cavallo's lap was a lot later in the session than Quentin K's was. I believe we actually have an Alpine going out already, and we do. Is that Quentin K? No, it is Dane Clem. Actually, it's both of them. Quentin K was going to be the first of the Alpine to set the lap. Number 19 for Alpine. I have no idea what number retrograde is. Dane Clem, he's number 40. That's a weird number choice in my opinion. But, you know, it is what it is. They're both very quick drivers. They can race under whatever number they want. It's going to be the 2 Alpines to head the session first, and then it's going to be, I believe, that is the Mercedes of Cody Lawrence. The championship leader, he did have some pace in Q2, but I don't think he'll have enough pace for even a front row. So he's just going to be looking to finish the race, as are all these drivers here. And it's one thing to finish a race, of course, and it's one thing to finish it you know, across the line. Most of these drivers could be looking to finish their race in the walls, and hopefully that's not the case. Bit of a disclaimer before the race starts, though. Even if we do have a driver that is completely dead on track, you know, both tires, you know, flying across the track, we will not have a safety car. This is Monaco, and this is also a Codemasters game, so I don't think we will have a safety car here in Monaco, even though it's on increase. There's just something in the game that does not allow a safety car to happen. But yeah, so we have Quentin K going for his first lap now. We'll see what his pace is, because it's going to be very exciting to see if he can improve from, you know, this lap. If it is slow, if it is fast, he cuts that curb very nicely, I must say. Through turn 1, he's going very quickly now into Massenet, carrying lots of speed. 4th gear, taking very tight line across the wall into 3rd gear, now out of 4th. And through that little bump on the left side of the track, down that little straight, into Mirabeau now. Through the hairpin, he's taking a very nice line through here, I must say. 1st gear, some drivers go for 3rd, but no, this man's in 1st gear. Look at him go, and it's definitely helping him, I would say. Now he's going all the way down the tunnel, taking that high line, as I've spoken so much about. To the new of the chicane, he could very well invalidate his lap here. Let's see if he does, and he doesn't, but takes a very nice line. Absolutely on the limit from the Alpine driver. Through to back now, he's getting very close to the inside wall, almost touching the outside wall. He's through that section now into the swimming pool chicane, cuts the curb very nicely. Did get a bit slow on the throttle though. Through Velasquez, braking very deep, I must say, and very tight line to the wall on the inside. I'm surprised he didn't hit it, in fact. Now he's going to go across the line. Now it's going to be a blazing time. It's going to be a 1:09.1. After that, his teammate Dane Clem is right after him. We'll see if he can replicate any time like that, and he won't be able to by quite a big margin. 8/10 the gap, and now Cody Lawrence has actually gone very quick, 1:09.2. Next across the line, we go to Kyle Blevins. I don't think he'll be replicating any of the times we've seen so far. If he does, it'll be maybe a bit of a miracle. He just doesn't have that speed going into Larascas that we saw from Quentin K. I mean, Quentin just carries so much speed through that braking zone, and he's going to be quite far off his Kyle Blevins, 1.1 seconds off. After that, Hector Ochoa across the line, not really known for his qualifying pace, and that is pretty evident now. 5th place for him. Ryan Noon, the next one across the line, also on controller, so it'll be a miracle if he puts a time very quick, and he has. He's into the 1:09s finally, is Ryan Noon. And after that, I don't think we have anyone else on a hot lap. Magnussen Cube hasn't validated his lap. The 2 Red Bulls still on their out lap, as is Eric Cavallo, the main man that we're looking to see if he can challenge Quinton K. I don't know if he'll be able to, honestly, but we just have to wait and see.
Now we'll have to wait and see. And if you're in Eric Cavallo's shoes, and I mean that's the fun part of Monaco is the full qualifying challenge as it is. We all know the race. You know, don't expect to see a lot of overtakes during the actual race. Okay, we'll see the real things. But during the qualifying, a lot of pressure is put on these drivers. You know, you're doing your fast lap or your out lap, and you see Quinton K put a 109.1. If you're Eric Cavallo and you feel you have potential for pole position, you have to work a little bit extra harder. You got to throttle a little bit quicker. You know, try to do things a little bit much. And who's crashed out? And the Nouvelle chicane is Magnussen Cube. It looks like he's completely crashed out. Yeah, I'm gonna go over to Era, see if we can catch him. Catch the AlphaTauri, who's probably just dead center in the chicane, and he is.
Oh.
That is done for him. Might have probably distracted Eric Cavallo. That was a worse position to find a body there. And yeah, most definitely he is distracted, Era. And turned off his ERS. So he's going to try to recharge it before going up for another fast lap, I believe. Oh, he hits the... No, he's going into the pits now. Okay, so he's in the pits. Yeah, that was enough of a distraction for Era. I was just saying, you know, you see Quinton K doing 109.1, and if you're Era and you want to challenge for pole position, you really got to push that much harder to get around those kind of times. And I think Magnussen Cube, that's exactly what he was trying to do, and got caught in Nouvelle chicane. The way he was positioned, I suspect his rear tire hit the wall hard enough for him to have terminal damage. And so that was it for the AlphaTauri driver. And I believe Quinton K and Alpine are back on their outlap. Sorry, Nathan, go ahead.
I think it might be a little bit different than what you think, because while he broke his front left tire, he did not break his front wing, so that means that he didn't have a head-on contact. He must have tapped the wall directly on the tire, and I believe maybe he just turned in a bit too much and smacked his tire into the pointy barrier we can see now in the inside of the Nouvelle chicane. I think that might be the case here, because that's very interesting to not have broken your wing but have it completely destroyed your suspension. And he did travel quite a ways onto the curb that you have to cut here, and that would have definitely stopped Eric Cavallo's lap if he hadn't abandoned it earlier. Let's see on the drivers that we have going for their first laps here. I think we have the Alpine. Is that Quinton K? No, Quinton's already on his lap. Dane Clem is just starting his. Quinton K, he's going even faster. He was 0.02 of a second quicker than he was on his first lap. I have to say, through those couple of corners, he doesn't look as fast as he did on his first lap. He gets a bit slightly out of Poitiers. Now through the tunnel, I don't know if it's going to be quite a good lap, but if he has improved whatsoever, that would be very impressive. Dane Clem definitely has to improve on his lap time. I mean, he's 8/10 down on his teammate. If he wants any chance at pole position tonight, he's going to have to improve substantially. Cody Lawrence also on his lap. It looks like he's aborted it. We'll go on board now with Quinton K. He's going through the Rascas now. He's 700 down going into Sector 3. He's carrying just a bit more speed through the last corner than I remembered he did before. And across the line, he's not going to improve. He's down 1.4 tenths. Next across the line will be his Alpine teammate, who's gained 4 tenths through Sector 2. A bit iffy through that swimming pool section. Got a bit of oversteer out of the swimming pool chicane. Now out of the final corner now. He's going to improve. I don't think it will be enough for pole position. It will be a miracle if it is, and it isn't. He goes third fastest. He stays third fastest, I should say. 109.446. Hopefully he has more to gain, though. I think Eric Cavallo just set purple Sector 1. So this could be the challenger that we've been expecting from Eric Cavallo for so long, as Hector Cho goes 6th fastest. And yeah, Eric Cavallo, he's going to be the main man that we're going to be looking at tonight. Quinton K looks to have it in the bag, but Eric Cavallo is the main challenger, as he has a bit of a moment out of the Nouvelle chicane. Does he lose time to that? We'll see in just 1 second. And while this is his first lap, I guess he hasn't lost time, he hasn't gained time to anything. Through swimming pool chicane, it looks a bit iffy, bouncing a lot through that chicane. Through the Rascas now, Antonian Nodes. I don't think it will be good enough for pole position. He could prove him wrong though, and I'd be very happy to see if he does. And he has the fourth fastest behind Dane Clem. So this is going to be very representative of,
I
what
think
the
that's going to
pace
be
is.
it for Eric Cavallo. Sorry to cut you off, Nathan, but there's 2 minutes 50 left in the qualifying session. He's got to go around the lap and the track another time. By the time he goes back into the pits, I don't think he'll have time to go back out in front on another set of softs. So I think that's going to be it for Era.
That'd be very unfortunate if it is, but
It's
I think
2 minutes and a half. He's got, let's say, about 30 seconds or 40 seconds to dive into the pits. You know, by the time you wait for the pit crew to wheel the car back into the garage, switch your set of tires, and I don't think he's got other tires there. Unfortunately, he switched. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Quentin K 1091. He's got another set of softs. 18 Patel, team principal of Alpine, lets us know that Quentin K had 3 set of softs, fresh softs for Q3. I don't know if it's the same for Dane Clem, but I think this is I mean, no pressure on Quentin K, but I think if there's a moment for us to see a 108, it is now, as the drivers are coming out of the pits for their final laps. I think we're seeing Cody Lawrence. He's just getting out of the pits now. There's a minute 35 to go, and Era just got into the pit, so it's done for Era. We're done with Magnussen Cube. Magnussen Cube, obviously, no time set. He's gonna be. Oh, I said done for Era. Is Era going on another lap? He's still out there. Surprising. Yeah, I think he's gonna try. He's gonna give it his all in this situation. So he's got a 197. I don't think he's got enough battery to take it till the end. I doubt he'll improve. He might try to take advantage of the track evolution here. I don't think that's gonna be enough for him though.
Yeah, Ryan Newton, another driver who really needs to get on with it, and then for his next hot lap, I don't know if he has time. He's really gonna have to send it through the rest of the lap here. Next we have Kyle Blevins just gonna start his lap. He's gonna have enough time. So will Jakub Karsowicz, and now Quentin K. He's gonna be the main man, the final man that we look to set his final lap. A lot of use of the word final there, but here he goes. It will be very interesting to see what he can do. He still takes turn 1 very nicely. A bit of squirmy out on the exit through what is this? I forgot it already. Don't remind me though. We'll keep on going through sector 1. He's trying to just flick the car wherever he wants it to go, and he is up 200ths of a second. A bit deep through Mirbeau. Now through the hairpin, first gear, bit deep again. I don't know if this will be an improved time. He's had quite a time before, but I don't know if he's going to be able to improve on that. Cody Lawrence is still pushing strong, so he's not quite out of the woods yet. We'll have to see what he can do. He goes through the Nouvelle Chicane now, and he takes it absolutely perfectly, I must say. And he has a bit of a moment outside the exit, I should say. Does he gain any time? He doesn't. He's 600s down, but I think he can gain it through sector 3. He takes it very nicely. Now he needs to carry that speed through the corner, the Vasquez, as we saw before. A bit squirmy out of the exit, and the final corner now. He's also very squirmy out of that exit. He's going to go across the line, and he backs out of it.
Yeah.
So it's now up to Cody Lawrence, who's also invalidated his lap, and now Dane Clem is the final man across the line. Will he be able to improve enough to gain pole position? He's across the line now, and he hasn't. He's only stayed third fastest. Eric Cavallo has invalidated lap. Ryan Newman is going to be the last one to cross the line here to put in a lap time. What will it be for Ryan Newman? Will it be good enough? And his fourth fastest, so he takes Eric Cavallo's spot on the second row of the grid. And this is going to be the result for qualifying. We have Quentin K on pole position. My toonie is valid, so I'm going to expect that in the mail from you.
Hey, so is mine.
We have, fair enough, I guess. Send me like something you have. I am assuming you have like maple syrup covered pretzels or something like that.
Oh,
after that is Cody Lawrence, Alpine teammate. He's going to line up right behind his Alpine teammate Quentin K. Dane Clem in third place. Ryan Newman with a great lap on controller in his fourth place. I have no idea what it was after that. I think it was Era in fifth place, Hudson Poole in sixth place, someone who DNF'd in seventh place, Magnussen Cube somewhere in there. We'll see in just a bit. Yes, seventh place goes to Hector Ochoa. It's going to be good for the constructor standings. If they can just keep these positions, they are guaranteed to win the championship. After that is Yaku Karswich in the Red Bull, who's got an 8th place, and then the 2 Alpha Towers, Kyle Blevins and Magnuson Cube. I wonder what we could have seen from Magnuson Cube, because while he did have some pace, he didn't have enough pace to make it through into Q3. He just DNF'd right at the start, so gonna be exciting to see what he can produce. I don't know if it could be too much though.
Yeah, unfortunate for him because so far in Q2 and Q3 he was putting up I'd call it a top 7 kind of lap. You know, he could have been, I think, in the midst of maybe the Red Bull and the Mercedes on the better lap for him. But unfortunately, no lap set in Q3, DNFs it. You know, it'd be interesting to see what kind of situation, you know, Monaco in the F123 game will be if we take the same situation and we get a red flag, you know, how that would affect. And oh my goodness, Nathan, what do we have here? I'm having PTSD from my Division 3 race where I went up to 95% wear on my wet tires and didn't pop it, no puncture. I don't know how I did it. But we've got a wet race, and I'm sure that the Division 1 drivers are absolutely delighted with such a challenge. And for that, ladies and gents, Nathan, it's time for you to open up your Dr. Pepper, grab your snacks, and on my end, guys, we've got a chocolate beer to accompany us for the Monaco Grand Prix. We're just a couple seconds. The usual T-posing mechanics, Nathan, who are not wearing their umbrellas tonight. We're about to be underway at the Monaco Grand Prix. The red lights are on. Away they go, and it's going to be a race to turn 1. Is it Quentin K that's got the better start? It's a difficult one. Everybody's on intermediate tires here. A lot of position changes in the midfield, but so far Quentin K is in P1. Cody Lawrence in P2. Dane Clem's getting a little bit swarmed by Eric Cavallo. Eric kind of pushes his way through on Ryan Newton. And so he gains a position. It's P4 for him. Kyle Blevins is an incident in the back just at the entrance of turns 3 on Messina, and he's completely lost it. I don't know if he's got damage for him. It looks like there is. He's missing a portion of his end plate there. And so we've got increased settings for the safety car. I don't know if that's going to affect it per se, but we've got a wet race, and I don't know if it's the entirety of the race that's going to be wet, but 2 out of the 3 race starts we've had this weekend in Zoom Racing League are wet in Monaco. That is quite a way to finish the season, Nathan. Do we have any information if it's going to be raining the entirety of the race?
I'll have to ask Labib if he's there. Hudson Pool already getting the penalty for cutting the mirror about chicane. We have Alfa Romeo driver in the back, let's see how to pronounce this, Adabiaza, who has made up some positions, and he made quite an overtake around the outside in the hairpin. So great job for him. I will ask Labib about that weather situation we have, but look how treacherous it is for the Alfa Romeo driver. He's absolutely sliding around the swimming pool chicane. And it's going to be just like that for every other driver here. I mean, Hudson Pool is right on the back of Ryan Newton, but it is Monaco after all. It's going to take a lot to be able to make an overtake here. I mean, this is borderline full wet conditions, I'd have to say here. Look how hard it is raining. I believe that the forecast is on approximate, so I think we might have some variation in the weather. Yes, it is. So it's going to be very interesting to see just what these drivers will do on the wet surface of Monte Carlo here.
Yeah, really interesting. So we're going to go with the D3 strategy, and I don't know if it's going to apply in this situation considering the weather. As you're saying, it is raining considerably harder than it was in Division 3. We'll see if it centers for the entirety of the race. Do we go to the wets? Will it stop raining at some point? Which, if there is a weather change throughout the race, that will be really interesting strategy-wise. Otherwise, if you take care of your tires, as Red Bull driver NVA did, who raced winner in Division 3, compared to what I did, you should be able to get your tires until the end without pitting if you're on the interiors, you know, from beginning to end. And so that is a possibility. However, it is definitely in puncture territory nonetheless. As I mentioned, my left rear was at 95% at the end of the race, and I wasn't taking care of, at least my setup wasn't made to be taking care of that tire very well. And so I don't know if these drivers are going to pull that same strategy. They're probably discussing it with their engineers, as I mean, it was a strategy I did and finished P3. in Division Three. Other faster drivers. Ethan Patel finished P2 and he had to pit. Joe Goron as well, P4, I believe. Despite having a penalty, maybe moved them back a little bit, but there's a different kind of strategies. Is it the undercut? Is it the overcut? Division Three showed us different kind of strategies being used. Division Three, I think the skills are a lot more. It's a lot closer. The skill gap is a lot closer from driver to driver, and so we might see different kind of strategies. I don't know. What do you think, Nathan?
I mean, we did see that the overcut was very powerful indeed, but like you said, the staying out strategy for the whole race, as it is legal by the FIA rules, it could be very good strategy here. We saw that it actually gave NVA the win, arguably, because Ethan Patel was definitely the quicker driver that day, but it didn't work out for him because he did pit, and he lost that crucial track position, which we know is so important here in Monaco. So it could be up to just whether you want to pit or not, actually. Overcut is still pretty useful, but at the pace that all these drivers are, at the gaps that they are, it is a bit closer than it was in Division 3 when we had that wet race. But for drivers like Cody Lawrence, I think if Quentin K does pit, he'll want to extend Will Cody Lawrence and try and overcut him. But for drivers such as Dane Clem here, a good strategy option was just to wait it out, because he has lots to gain. If the driver ahead of him pits, he could gain position, and if his teammate pits, then maybe he's going to go rogue a bit and he's going to stay out and take the win of the race. So it's going to be really just up to the driver how good they are at saving their tires. I mean, you maybe not be the best of saving tires, but you still didn't get a puncture, so it's going to be up to every single one of these drivers how well they can, really check or pair the tires, manage them very well. That's exactly what they're going to need to do here.
Yeah, it's going to be important in that kind of situation. And if you look at the intervals here, Quentin K is 3.7 seconds ahead of Cody Lawrence. So he's mastered the wets. Didn't need a lot of time to adjust his driving style to the wet conditions. He's far ahead. And when he had his racing debut in Monaco, he was as spectacular as he is right now. I think this time Quentin K is very thankful that Luke Locklear is not behind him in this race. Speaking about Luke Locklear, that's what he was saying, right? If you do go for the pits, changing your tires, you do have a lap or two where your intermediate tires are maybe not as at peak temperature, at peak performance. It takes a bit of time to get the temperature into it. As nonetheless, you're in Monaco, you got a Twisty circuit, but it is a city circuit. So not a lot of heat on the track per se. And if this is harder rain than in Division 3, it could be a little harder to keep the tires in ultimate position. It might take some more time to get it to the proper temperature. And once you're at the proper temperature, well, there might be a little bit more wheel spin. We'll have to keep an eye on that. If we start seeing puddles forming in this race, we might have to switch to the wet tires. I forget if you told me this or not, Nathan, so sorry if I'm making you repeat yourself. Do we have any more info on the weather conditions?
Yeah, so I've just gotten news from Duncan McCamick that it will be light rain for 24 minutes. I think that will be around 15-20 laps here. So we could see maybe a wet to dry situation, but it will take quite a bit for the track to dry up. And I don't know if there's a dry wet line kind of dynamic in this game, but if there is, it's going to be very crucial that they stay on that dry line, because if you slide just a little bit, that could mean you're into a wall. But yeah, that's the weather situation, light rain for the next 24 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's interesting. So there's definitely going to be a change in the weather conditions. I'd say 75% through this race, as you mentioned, probably between lap 20 and 25. So this is more or less approximate weather. So we might see some changes there going to dry. But now I've got two questions for you, Nathan. Do you think these drivers adjusted their tire temperatures for the rain, or do you keep the tire temperatures more or less at the minimum, plus or a tick or two, for when it becomes dry?
The pressures, you mean?
Yeah, tire pressures.
I would have gone 1 or 2 clicks up from what they are running. Normally it's just a minimum tire pressure check here, so it'll be interesting to see if they have. I think a few of them would have definitely bumped it up a little bit. It does gain you quite a bit of time in a wet race, and with the majority of this race going to be driven under the wet, I think it would be a smart decision to have gone up in tire pressures. I think that's what we've seen here. But if some drivers think they can gain advantage on the dry, which we both know is very unlikely, then they might have just stayed on their minimum schedule here.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. And you were talking earlier, Nathan, about the dry line. I kind of wish. Oh, there is an overtake being done. I don't know if it's Hector that had a moment there coming out of the last corner, but Jakub Karslowicz makes up a position as P9. Speaking of making up positions, Magnus and Cube and Macari Basset, respectively, gained 3 and 4 positions, and so great showing for them. Maybe taking advantage of a little bit of a hectic start in the middle of the pack there. Unfortunately for Cal Blevins, he's way back out there. I think he's just trying to survive and hoping that maybe there's a safety car that gets triggered throughout this race to bring him back in. But he's P17, 20 seconds behind Jack Fletcher, who's a little further behind. Going right back to what you were saying, Nathan, talking about the dry patch. F122 does an okay job at it. I don't think it is as evident or as... I don't think you really notice it as much on the car. I've not raced enough in the wets or wets to dry conditioning to know for 100%. But if I were to compare, I'm going to do something absolutely sacred here on the broadcast and compare this to Gran Turismo, where you would very clearly see a dry line, and if you get off of that, it could absolutely ruin your race, even on a road car. So I could imagine how it is on the F1 cars. Well, there are the Japanese Super Formulas and Gran Turismo, which they replicate that in an absolutely beautiful way. I've got to give them credits to that. So I don't know if F123 will have a small improvement in that regards. That could be a really nice thing to see in a near future. Well, it would be a nice thing to see in the near future. We'll see how Codemasters / EA feel about that, because they do whatever they want. They give us t-shirts, but not better physics. Anyways, we'll see about F123 soon.
John Ranger's going crazy, folks. Right now we kind of have like a DRS train kind of forming, although we won't see the DRS for quite a while, I'm going to assume here. Like we saw with Hector Ochoa, he had a massive moment. I think, like I said in Division 3, it's going to really matter if you have a moment, then that could really cost you a bunch of positions, and we know how hard those are to gain here. So that's going to be the main chance creator of overtakes. I kind of wonder if we're going to see maybe some cars being lapped here with the pit stops. Of course, it's going to be very, interesting to see if we do have some lapped cars here. With the DRS train, just drivers like Eric Avalio or maybe Dane Clem kind of slowing everyone down. We could see a bunch of traffic. In D2, we saw everyone up to, I believe it was 4th place getting lapped by Apex, so definitely interesting to see something like that happen in a race where all these drivers are so very talented, but it is what it is. And it's very impressive to see all these drivers drive so close to each other, knowing that if the one ahead of you, like they have a moment, it's going to be very hard to avoid them, and just you gotta hope that they go. Sarah Carvalho is going a bit quicker than he normally does. I believe he just had purple sector 1. If that is true, then just good job to him. He'll gain a point off it if he can just continue it through the lap. Let's go back to the championship fight. Right now it's definitely going to be sealed by Mercedes, of course, but I think maybe we could have something happen. Don't want to jinx it, of course, but it would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, given a wet situation in Monaco, I mean, just a slightest tap in the wall. I mean, Monaco being the highest downforce setting in the game, and now you're in the rain. If you tap a wall and lose a wing plate, or even if you get the light green damage, well, to begin with, the Zoom Racing League rules stipulates that you shouldn't be racing and slowing down the drivers if you have damage. So if you have damage and the driver's coming up behind you, you should be ceding position. I know there's it's not always necessarily followed, but I know team principals are looking a lot more into their telemetry options to see where they which driver have damage, as it's being ticketed more and more as of late. That being said, it just affects your driving so much. You get to start understeering like crazy, and sometimes to counter the understeer, you tend to throttle it a little bit more, and then you oversteer, and there it goes from a bad situation to worse. And in the rain, obviously, you got to pit, and I mean, Cal Blevins is doing a decent job. He was at 20 seconds behind Jack Fletcher a couple laps ago. He's at 17 seconds, but look at how much time he's lost to his rivals due to a lap 1 incident with, I forget, I didn't see who made contact with him, but it's, you know, it hurts if you gotta go into the pits due to damage, so you can't stay in the race if you damage your wing plate, and that could happen. We've seen in the other divisions, the safety car is set on increase, but DNFs and accidents or debris on track doesn't seem to trigger the safety car here in Monaco. So I don't think in Division 3 we're going to see a safety car. Jack Fletcher gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And so that might be something Kyle Blevins will try to hook himself onto, get himself within 3 seconds of Jack Fletcher, the McLaren, to gain maybe a couple points extra. But nonetheless, we're lap 11, Nathan. And Cody Lawrence is about 6.5 seconds off of P1 and Quinton K. I mean, we've used the term alien a couple times in Zoom Racing League when Hudson Poole joined the league and was at a complete other level. I think Cody Lawrence falls into that category, but tonight, I think even the aliens are going to call him an alien. Quinton K is an absolute dominant pace in the rain in Monaco, and he's doing it with seemingly no efforts at all. And it's quite remarkable so far.
Yeah, I think what we should just do is go on board with Quinton K for his next lap here. I mean, he hasn't really lost any time. We just saw that he's 800s down on his fastest lap. I think he just went purple sector 2 as well. I'm not sure if that's true. Hits a wall a little bit on the inside of the Raskas. Let's just see what it is in his lap time that's gaining him, you know, so much to Cody Lawrence right now. He's gained, even with a couple of mistakes in that final sector. Never mind, the time is just going a bit back down. Using pretty low gears and then short shifting, very usual tactic. But there has to be just something about what is in his lap that really takes him above and beyond these aliens, these so-called aliens that we have in this league. It looks like he's just very calm and composed. He's not too heavy on the battery. I did see him using it a bit in the tunnel section. Still going a bit deep, making mistakes a little bit, but aren't really costing him. And if they did, it wouldn't really matter, as the car behind him is very far behind. Compared to Quinton K, we see Cody Lawrence is actually on the high gears, and I believe that is actually losing him a bunch of time. Let's check.
I'm rather shocked to see him in Mirabo High, Mirabo Low section, the really hairpin section. He's going down as low as first gear. I mean, I'm on the dries, and I'm scared to go on the first gear in this game. He's somehow doing it on the wets. I mean, how?
Just absolute composure.
Whoa.
Never mind.
He almost lost it there.
Well, and I think he went purple sector 2 again. That it definitely lit up the track, as we have Maxime Berliou around in the tunnel section.
And that is
Fastest
it
lap,
for him.
okay.
Wow, that's surprising. The only dry part of the track, and he's found a way to leave his front wing there. That's not great showing for the Aston Martin driver.
I mean, yeah, I wonder if he just had a bit of a moment on the outside of, as he goes into the wall again. He had maybe, what is he doing? He's absolutely flying through this section.
He's about to donate a wheel if he continues like that.
Yeah, I mean, we just can see him going so deep in the corners.
There's the pit
there
lane.
you go, Maxime.
There.
You just,
there
we go. Good job. We'll see the folks in green. No longer. Actually, look, all of them are T-posing still. That's just their. I thought they only did that at the start.
Interesting.
Anyhow, Aston Martin doing a good job putting that front wing back onto the car, although he's going to be putting it back on almost, I wouldn't say almost a lap down, but definitely quite a bit further down the order than such Kyle Blevins, who's already pretty far behind himself. And yeah, Quinton K, I don't really know where he's gaining all this time. I mean, he's gone faster to sector 2 again than his previous lap. Might be able to set another fastest lap here. And he does. 121.8. I wonder, does that mean the rain's getting lighter? I mean, he almost has a moment out of turn 1. I think compared to what we saw, if you're just taking in the little details, I think the rain is raining just a little bit less than it was before. And we did have rain in 24 minutes. That's what was told to me, let's see, 12 minutes ago. So we're about halfway done with the water that is raining down on the track. Hopefully we do go to dry though, because that'd be pretty exciting to see all the strategies, some maybe Charles Leclerc moments, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to repeat what he said, but maybe we just have some moments like that. We'll make the racing a bit more exciting. I think we have Adabiaza into the pits now. Does he have to change his wing?
Yes,
he does.
yes, yeah. He had an incident. He got a 3-second time penalty, I believe, in the chicane, and so he's coming in for the pits. Maxime Boulier also getting a 3-second time penalty. I mean, he's the host of the lobby, and then something tells me that that's the only reason why he's here racing tonight. As we're used to seeing Maxime having a bit of a better showing as this. Maybe a little bit distraught from the incident he had earlier and losing his wing. But getting onto dries, maybe he could take advantage of that situation. And I think the big question... Well, there's a couple questions, and I'm trying to see if on track currently it could happen, but in a usually a closer kind of Monaco circuit where drivers are not so far apart from each other. We got a little bit of a mid-pack from Cody down to, I guess, Marc-Olivier, but they're kind of spread apart as well. You think who's going to pit first, for the team strategies? In Monaco in the rain, if it stops raining and we're going on to dries, who's pitting first? But I think no teams are going to have to think about it too much, as every teammate is far enough apart that the double stacking will work without problem. What we do see so far is the potential for... I think here the potential for undertaking might be working for some drivers who are closer. I'm thinking of the drivers who are closer behind Cody Lawrence. So Dane Clare, Marco Vallo, maybe even Ryan Newton. Hudson Pools did it last week as well in Austria, where the undercutting was very, very effective. Now you're going from wets into dries. Maxime Beaulieu is setting a fastest time at 1:21.6, and so that's testament to what you were saying, Nathan, where the track is starting to dry up, where the rain is starting to lighten up a little bit. Quentin K at 1:21.2, and so we might be seeing a couple drivers doing fastest lap as we go. Definitely posting personal bests. And so we're going to have lighter rain, and eventually it's going to dry up. Now, how long is it going to take for that dry line to appear and for the switch on those soft tires, on the medium tires probably, to come on? We'll figure that out in a bit.
Yes, we will. I mean, Quentin K, his pace is just quite phenomenal, honestly. With the tires that he has, he's still able to pump in laps that are pretty similar to the fastest lap we've just seen. I think while I wasn't really paying attention, he might have gone faster. Who knows? Anyhow, though, he's gained 9.2 seconds to Cody Lawrence, and he's just doing a very good job. Maybe we could see he pits into maybe some clean air, but if he were to pit right now, he would definitely be in the wake of some cars ahead of him. That's kind of what's key in strategy in just any kind of conditions in Monaco. If you're in the dirty air, then you're definitely going to lose a lot of time, especially if you're just being held up by another car, because what are you going to do? Can't really pass them. And it's just... this is Monaco. It's going to be pretty boring, if I'm going to be honest. But these drivers are doing their best to really just keep it entertaining. I mean, from a spectacle here, it's going to be very boring, but as a driver, everyone knows that it's never boring here in Monaco. You're always doing your best to avoid the walls. It's broken up a little bit. Has the field. No one into the pits yet, other than Adabiasa and Maxime Beaulieu. Maybe Kyle Blevins, because he did have to change his wing at the start. But I mean, we have drivers like Dane Clem, Cody Lawrence, Eric Cavallo, Ryan Newton even. I don't know how he's gotten here, but he is. We just have all these drivers that we know would normally be able to put on an amazing race, but they just want to really keep it on track right now, I'd assume. I think Dane Clem is a bit faster than Cody Lawrence right now, and if he wanted to overtake Cody Lawrence right now, he definitely could. But I don't think he wants to. He just wants to keep it safe. He doesn't want to take too many risks, because in general, where are you going to make this overtake happen? I mean, you can see the moments, the small moments that Cody Lawrence is having ahead of Dane Clem, but they're not enough to just close the gap enough where he could go alongside and just swoosh right past him. But I'll have to see. I saw that on the intermediate tires, this would be around the window that you want to pit, but if we do have the rain disappearing sooner or later, I actually don't see any
It just stopped.
through Nebraska. And no, it's back. So raining in a few sections, not raining in some. I think if the rain gets any lighter here, we could have a real blockbuster finish to this race.
Probably by lap 20. Yeah, now we're seeing drops, but you were right in Rustcast. It seemed like the drops where the rain was gone, and so a lot lighter and I think faster times are going to be going up, probably from Quentin K and other drivers as well. Kyle Blevins has done a good job getting back into the race, catching up reserve drivers of Jack Fletcher and Arrow. Now catching up to them is one thing, overtaking them is another. Will he try the undercut for the dry line at that moment? We'll find out soon enough. Looks like Jack Fletcher is gone to the side, and so he's letting Kyle Blevins go. I don't know if it's just some sportsmanship we're seeing from Jack Fletcher. If he had a moment, it looked like he was fine in the pit straight, but pulled over, letting Kyle Blevins know he did. Kyle Blevins did work his butt off to catch up to him by 20 seconds. I think Jack Fletcher is going to give it to him. He's got a penalty as well, and so no worth fighting him, I guess, for the McLaren reserve. And so Kyle Blevins on to Legendre, Arrow, the Frenchman in the Ferrari. We'll see how long he could hold him up. And every driver is going to be thinking about their... When to pit is one thing, but where are you coming back on track will be the next thing you got to figure out. Now, everybody's on Inters. Everybody's going to have to pit seemingly at a very, very similar time, more or less, 1 and 2 laps. I think when we start to see one driver go into the pits, we're going to see most drivers follow as well. I think Quentin K is sufficiently far ahead in the lead to maybe let everybody know, hey, it's time to pit. The rain's getting lighter, but it hasn't stopped officially. Or has it? It's kind of hard to say. We see the kind of blinking lights from the wet road, but I know in Singapore there's a bit of that graphical effect where sometimes you see it blinking like that, but it's just a reflection of the lights. But if you go into driver cam, we're still seeing a little bit of droplets on the cam. It disappears off in Rashcast. The lands go completely clear. There's nothing, and all of a sudden it's raining again. So there is a spot near turns 17 and 18. Raskas and Anthony Nogues, sorry, where there is no rain, but not sufficiently enough to... Sorry?
He's on to the mediums, as Zane Clem. He thinks it's time.
Oh, he's going on right now.
Our first driver onto the slick tires is none other than Dane Clem.
That is an early call, is it? DRS has not been enabled yet, and he almost bends it trying to light up his rear tires. He's gonna got some tires crosses the yellow pit line as well.
Water's flicking up though.
Yeah,
I mean, this was really early. He's gonna have lots of understeer, and he might even be overtaken by an Andretti. He's gonna try it around the outside.
Andretti is pushing him to the wall. How did he save his car there? Is that a bad pit call from Dean Clem so far? You overtaken by Andretti and Marcel Paps in the McLaren. Really interesting call.
He can barely turn the car.
Yeah.
It's dry in some sections, but in most, look how glossy it is, the surface of the track.
Really interesting, and he's not going to be able to get a lot of temperature into that mediums, or as soon as he does get temperature into them, he's going to end up losing that. And in the front, still on Inters, I don't know if Cody Lawrence had a little bit of a moment, but Eric Cavallo was all over his gearbox and maybe trying to make a move on Cody Lawrence. Cody seems to have the better exit speed out of turns 18. And so, a little bit of action being given to us by the Division 1 drivers. We've also got Marcel Paps still close behind Anand Trivedi. Anand Trivedi went up to P9 due to Dane Clem's early pit stop. Really surprising on that one. Is he going back? He is, yeah. So I think he tried to go, and this can kind of happen sometimes, right? So he's going back on the inters, and so if it does get dry again, he's gonna have to go back on the dry later on. He's gonna regret that decision. That only solidifies and confirms the Mercedes Constructors Championship in this kind of given situation. Dane Clem finds himself P15, a costly mistake there. I guess he tried to jump the gun a little too early, and that's gonna hurt him. We don't know when the dry line is officially gonna show up. It looks like it's drying up, but the ground may remain wet enough that inters are still perform as good as the dries.
Yeah, the rain's definitely stopped, and I think all sections of the track now. Most of this rain visual that we're seeing from drivers such as Quinton K is mostly just from, I'd assume, the tires flicking up the water into the TV pod camera. But as we look through here, the rain is completely gone.
Yep.
It's just the surface of the track is so cold and so slick. It's gonna, like we saw with Dane Clem, it's just so hard to even get tire temperature in to the tires, of course, and that's why he's back onto the intermediates now. Absolutely shambolic call from the Alpine Garage. I'd assume Ethan Mattel had something to do with that. Good job. But even through like the tunnel section, the rain visual comes back for Quinton K. So kind of interesting to just see with the visual. I don't know if it actually matters that much. In the end, we have a
well, careful. There's a side-by-side battle with Lejean Arrow. It's a 4-car battle. It's Jack Fletcher who's gonna get ahead of the Ferrari. They're gonna go 3 wide into turn 1. No, he doesn't. And Jack Fletcher gets P13, Kyle Blevins in P12. It's not over yet. Dean Clem is going to fight in the middle of them. He's got the freshest set of tires. A little bit of bump with Arrow, who's going to fight really hard. Dean Clem gets on the inside. Side by side, he goes with the Ferrari. He's got the fresher tires, gets the grip advantage, and gets P14 from the reserve Ferrari driver. These 4 just gave us the most action we'll ever see in all 3 divisions we've had this weekend.
Well, I mean, we did miss it, but Eric Carvalho has now made it past Cody Lawrence as well.
Oh my god.
I believe that was right out of the exit of the Nouvelle Chicane, maybe just a bit of a moment for the Mercedes driver. And what an opportunity taken by Eric Carvalho. And look how fast he's already pulled away from the Mercedes driver. Maybe he has all this pace all along, and he's just been held up. Now it's really up to see if he can gain any time on Quinton K. Even if he does, then I don't know if it mattered too much, but I mean, that does add a bit of spice to this race. We're gonna have now an even longer interview with Eric Carvalho, I'm sure. So we can definitely look back to that and look forward to it. Now Ryan Noon is going to be the next man to see if he can capitalize on the mistakes of Cody Lawrence if he makes another one, of course. And I think the track will dry up here because all these drivers on the intermediate tires, they are, well, they're not pitting for one reason, I'm assuming. They'd definitely pit by now if it stayed intermediate, stayed wet, but I don't think it's going to.
I mean, it's just got to be careful for when they pit, obviously, because given the fact that it's a night race and it's not very, very hot in Monaco, it's not known for being very high temperature. It's going to take some time for that dry line to appear, for the rain to stop, flaking away from the rear of those cars. As you can see, turn 1 is still kind of wet, as that is where Cody had a little bit of a moment, and Eric Carvalho took the advantage from him. There's a 12-second gap between Quinton K and Eric Carvalho. Carvalho just did the fastest lap. Both of them are on same pace tires, and so we can see or can observe at this moment the raw pace and compare between Quinton K and Eric Carvalho. Cody Lawrence was pulling away from Quinton K, or I should say the other way around. Quinton K was pulling away from Cody Lawrence ahead. We're going to find out if Era has got the better pace so far. We've got a McLaren into the pits. It is Marcel Paps. Is he on the dries? He has gone on the dries. So a second driver is going to try for the mediums. Let's keep an eye on him and see if he can make it work. He's going to have the same kind of moment as Dane Clem again.
And crucially, he did have to pit for a front wing change, so that was part of the reason why he pit.
Oh, he's always going to have to do it a second time. And there goes the other wing.
No, I don't think he's lost a front wing end plate. It's a miracle that he hasn't, but he's definitely lost a bunch of time and a bunch of positions. Now soon he's going to have the race leader come up next to him. He just can't keep the car straight here. Here comes Quinton K alongside him. He's getting out of the way as he should. And I still think it's very early for the medium
Yeah.
tires. Well, I think on the, it is definitely a dry surface now. I think it's just too cold to get any temperature into these tires whatsoever. Just look how hard it is for Marcel Paps to stop the car even at the slow speed he's going. It's just impossible for the McLaren driver to do anything here.
There's absolutely no grip on that track on the slick tires so far. That is two drivers, Dane Clem and Eruption, or Marcel Paps, who's tried the medium tires, and that's costing them dearly, especially Marcel Paps. He crashed out twice on the Beau Rivage straight here, and so we're in a situation where the intermediate tires. This reminds me, correct me if I'm wrong on the year, but I remember Turkey as Marcel Paps again is sideways, just going off on Nouvelle Chicane. Good thing there's ghosting, because otherwise that would be absolute carnage. He's getting lapped by half the field right now. Remember Turkey, I believe it's 2020, during the COVID year racing, where it was raining, but the intermediate tires, after being on the dry surface for a while, they kind of turned into half slicks, half intermediate kind of hybrid tires, right? Because of the graining and such. And so it was better off to stay on the inters instead of going on the fresh slicks, because there was no grip at all on those slick tires. And another thing I want to add, Nathan, so far it's still early, but we have Eric Cavallo, who's now 11 seconds away from Quinton K, so he has caught up by about a second and a half, and Dane Clem gets a 3-second time penalty out of Nouvelle Chicane.
Yeah, I wish I could just see the grooves on the tires of Quinton K and other drivers on the intermediate tires. Yeah, the Slintermediates, as they were called, I wouldn't imagine any other name would be there for it. Yeah, that was kind of the case where it'd just be faster to stay on the intermediates because one, you don't have to pit, and two, the grooves just kind of go away after a while because you've worn them down and you've taken them away. In 2021, Aston Martin, we saw Sebastian Vettel. Dane Clem retiring from the session.
Yeah, two drivers just retired in the pit lanes.
As I was saying, Sebastian Vettel, he went on the medium tires and he had a similar situation to, Marcel Paps and Dane Clem. He went on the medium tires, it was Turkey again, and he just couldn't find the grip. He was more of a danger on track than he was a racer on track. And that's just Alpine coming back onto track. That is Dane Clem retiring from the session. That's kind of the issue here with retiring in the pits, because your car is going to drag out all the way into the exit of Mirabeau, and that is the closest part where you can retire your car.
So a lot of drivers are coming up behind him, so it is dangerous. I hope he's ghosted for the other drivers.
I don't know if he is, because they are doing their best.
No, he's not, because we just heard a sound of contact between him and I believe Magnussen Cube. So now he's going.
Marc-Levy Bastien just hit him as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a danger zone there. And look, it's part 3. Why not? I guess they haven't learned their lessons yet. It's an Andretti on the medium tires on the Haas. It's time for Beyblade. Let's see if Andretti is going to be able to keep that car on the road. Two of the drivers who tried going onto the mediums ended up DNFing from the race. Let's see if he's able to get some grip on that. And so far, I think he's doing a little bit better than the two previous drivers.
There is just barely a dry line on there.
A little bit.
Just barely see it, but it is still pretty miserable out there.
Oh, you could only half throttle going down the Casino Straight and almost into the wall, trying to keep it on the brakes.
Oh, we have Hudson pull into the pits. Is this for medium tires? No, it's not. It's for intermediate tires. So that is maybe a better decision. And look at those groove on the tires that they've just taken off. They are worn down quite a bit. So I'd assume it'd be the same for all the drivers ahead of him. Crucially, though, Hudson hasn't really lost any track position. At least not too many. He's lost one position, and now it's going to be 2 positions to his Red Bull teammate. But now he just has a fresh pair of boots, and he'll be able to continue on for the rest of the race with just no worries. Did he just get a penalty? Or was that earlier? I have no idea. Someone got a penalty. Oh, whatever. But yeah, that's the case for all these drivers ahead of him and everyone on the intermediate tires who hasn't pit yet. Let's go back on board with Beamer here. It still looks very, very miserable on the medium tires. He's struggling so hard to slow the car down. That makes me wonder, though, even if it does become slick tire conditions, will it be worth it for any of these drivers to pit onto the slicks because they just lose so much track position, like Beamer just has? And even so, it's going to be still very hard to warm the tires. Something else I've noticed, Eric Cavalli has done a great job of cutting down the gap of just a bit to Quinton K, setting the fastest lap. I don't know how much faster it was.
Cody Lawrence is in the pits.
For intermediate tires.
Also intermediates.
Here.
Yeah. So what's interesting as well, I think the drivers are realizing they're way too far into the danger zone. They're not going to do what I did in Division 3 and pull their cars so far ahead or do the whole entire race with the intermediates, at least for now. We got a couple drivers who have not pitted for fresh enters. Cody Lawrence has got the fresh enters, and his overcut worked. Hudson Poole and Jakub Karsowicz had to do a bit of a switch around. Hudson Poole was behind his teammate Karsowicz, and now Cody Lawrence ends up in front of both of them. And so his tactic works, but every single driver in front of him, P1 to P5, and we're seeing Magnussen Cube in P4 so far. Maccabi Basset on the pad, P5. He's done a great race. I haven't said a word about him all race, but he's done a great job keeping it a clean race on his part. Been very cautious on the battery as well. And so the top 5 are potential drivers to maybe try to go all the way on the inters. I mean, it's the season finale. You know, sorry for the expression, but we could go balls to the wall here and try to see what the game is going to give us. And maybe if you have good tire management, you'll be able to do just fine. But one thing I've noticed is that it's a fastest lap shootout between Quinton K and Eric Cavallo, and so far, Era is winning it. He's dropped down to 8 seconds behind Quinton K.
Another slick runner in Magnussen Cube.
Oh my goodness.
Who is this? Maccabi Bastion?
It is. He's also going on to the slicks. Is it not Trivedi starting? He has not pit for the slicks. Is he starting to do a little bit better?
He's still losing a bunch of time to Adabiasa, so...
He is. And a corner cutting penalty coming out of the pits. Magnussen Cube gets a 5-second corner cutting. He was in P4. I said he was doing a good job, and he just had to mess it up.
Well said. It does look just a tiny bit better every time a driver comes out of the pits and tries to manage their tires. But still, it looks so bad for the medium tire runners. Do we have Kyle Blevins now going on to the medium tires? Yes, we do. At this point, I would actually try and go on to the soft tires. It's just easier to get heat into the tires, and it's going to be a bit faster initially.
That's really interesting. How I don't know if any of these drivers are racing with engineers or if they all got Ethan Patel as an engineer, but so far, they're going on to medium tires, and Quinton K just smashed into the wall. He's got a flat tire! Quinton K's rear left is completely flat. He is not able to put any throttle onto his car, and that's out of turn 1. He's got to go on a flat. He's got a puncture. He has got to recover all the way back, and he's resetting to track as well. This means that puts Eric Cavallo on the lead. And is Eric going to have a sufficient lead enough to go into the pits? Because if it happened to Quinton K, look at that tire, completely shredded. He cannot do anything. Quinton K retires. Could that trigger a safety car? He's completely parked on the Beau Rivage corner just before Massanen turns 3. Game is not going to give a safety car. It's a little bit too late for that. So Eric Cavallo probably is going to have to take a bit of precaution here, precautionary pit stop. If one driver could get a puncture, another driver could do so, and so most drivers in the end did a good call for pitting. However, we question the tires on which they're pitting, and let's see what Eric Cavallo is going to do. He is coming around Rascasse here.
He stays out.
He stays out. He's going to risk it. I think he's going to try to go all the way.
I'm staring at the rear tire right now. I'm just waiting for it to blow up. I mean, he's been pushing harder than Quinton K was as well. He has the fastest lap, and now it's going to be very, very tight if he escapes out of this without a puncture. I mean, this is going to be very, very dangerous for him to continue in this situation. 7 laps to go. It's going to be like just Lightning McQueen situation to the very end. He's going to... I don't know if it will be able to bounce his way across the finish line, maybe stick his tongue out and get the win, but who's that Ferrari going slowly? Is that Lejean? Is that Arrow? No,
it looks like it's Arrow. He looks like he's ghosted, actually, so I don't know if he's disconnected.
well, getting lapped. I'm not too sure.
Could be
Beamer,
it. Yeah.
Beamer's now able to go fast though, so definitely medium tires now. But
We'll see. Cobb
do you pit
Levins
on?
and Cobb Levins just pit for the mediums, and Jack Fletcher just pit for the inters as well. So I think we're just on the line here. But if you're cautious, you're gonna go on the intermediates at this point, and if you're a little bit brave, you might go on the mediums. I'm trying to see a good comparison would be Magnus and Cube versus Ryan Newton here to see if he could get better time from there. And Eric Cavallo is going to go into the pits. I think he's got an engineer who's going to let him know to take no chances. What kind of tire compound is he going to go for?
Medium tires.
He's
Medium tires.
also on the mediums. Not going to take a chance with the softs that might fall off completely. And so there's a gamble here again. It's Eric Cavallo and Cody Lawrence. Cody's just posted the fastest time.
Side
by side, they're going. Cody Lawrence is going to go for the lead, and he does. Eric Cavallo's not able to put enough throttle coming out of the pit, and he is now in the lead. Cody Lawrence in the Mercedes. Eric Cavallo in the Haas is now P2. Will he be able to stick it to the Mercedes on the medium compound, or is he going to look behind him at Hudson Pool? Jakub Karsiewicz, the Red Bull teammate of Hudson Pool, is going on the soft compound, and he is coming out of the pits. Let's find out. He is going out of the pits, so he is going to be out on P7. Maxime Beaulieu as well in the pits, entering the pits. He's also going for the softs. And so we might have a fastest lap shootout for the guys going on the softs. We are seeing a drying line, but so far advantage to the intermediate compounds. Cody Lawrence versus Eric Cavallo, and look at that, Hudson Pool is right on his rear, so he's got the better pace. And Era, it's just a matter of minutes, I believe, for the medium tires to get into their peak performance temperatures and gain better traction around this track. But this is a really exciting end to this race. Nonetheless, it is Monaco, but we've had quite an exciting race in Division 1. It does not fail to be exciting in Division 1. Fastest lap to Cody Lawrence, 1:59, so we're below the 1:16 mark in D1 so far.
Yeah, so the fastest lap that is definitely going to be set by Eric Cavallo, I'd assume. That's really going to dictate how... Oh, there goes DRS. It's enabled, so it is definitely dry conditions now. And look how hard... Whoa, look at this. Look how Eric Cavallo is gaining time on Cody Lawrence. He's getting 4/10 in 3 corners. And now he's incredibly faster through Sector 1, Sector 2 now. I think this was going to be incredibly fun to watch as he's getting more and more time. I think at the very least we're going to see a heroic attempt at a dive bomb through maybe the Nouvelle Chicane. Maybe Cody's just going to be slow, but look at this here.
Yeah, that's going to be something to watch now. And as much as we're going to watch Eric Cavallo versus Cody Lawrence, and there's 5 laps to go, laps 34 out of 39, we might as well keep an eye on Magnus and Cube versus Ryan Newton. Magnus and Cube, despite, I think he's only got a he's got 8 seconds penalty. What? How many? Boys, why is there so many penalties? Ryan Newton, Magnus and Cube, 8 seconds apart. I was thinking there's going to be a nice finish. Magnus and Cube had a potential to be at his best finish. He might, if he's got all those that time, he might be finishing behind. He would be finishing behind Jakub Karsiewicz, Maxime Beaulieu, who just gained a position, softs on softs against Hector Ochoa. Hector Ochoa's race on pace on track has been going absolutely backwards. So a lot of penalties so far this race. It wasn't an easy condition. And Eric Cavallo, Nathan, is at 1.7 seconds now. We're going around the Grand Hotel hairpin here with Cody, and right behind him is Eric Cavallo, 1.4. Jakub Karsiewicz at a 1.13.3. The conditions had dried up immediately, and I think those intermediate tires are starting to heat up.
I mean, yeah, he's been 2 seconds a lap quicker than Cody Lawrence has Eric Cavallo, and just look how easy it is for him to get onto the power. It's almost in qualifying conditions now, I'd say. We have a Haas around in the tunnel. That is Beamer NG. He has his front wing, so nothing coming from that. Eric Cavallo now within a second of Cody Lawrence, and now he will have DRS into turn 1. That might be the first little heroic opportunity we see being taken from Eric Cavallo. And I'm just thinking about how long this interview is going to be. He's going to be like, oh yeah, well I went on the medium tires and I was a lot faster because the track dried up, and just something like that. But look how close he is now. He's definitely going to maybe have a lunge into even Mirabeau or definitely the Nouvelle Chicane. Look, he's almost going into the back of the Mercedes here. Is he faster through here? Not enough. He's not going to send it down the inside there. Hopefully not, anyways. Could send it down the hairpin. I wouldn't recommend it, but you do you, Era. So now here it is. These are the crucial final corners. If Cody can just get an okay exit, he can hold off for one more lap. And he hasn't really, so this could be the first overtaking opportunity. Onto the battery goes Eric Carvalho. He's going to try it down the inside. Cody goes defensive around the outside, and he backs off, does Eric Carvalho. But Era knows that he's definitely the faster car on track. He knows that he can definitely keep Cody behind. Cody is gonna, well, he's gonna make Cody behind him, and it's gonna be very soon that we can see that here. Fastest lap goes to Hector Ochoa. I think we'll have a bit of a shootout for that, as he said before. 1:12.1 is definitely a lot faster than what Cody Lawrence can produce right now. We'll see as they cross the line. He goes onto the battery, goes onto the DRS. He's gonna maybe have a lunge down the inside. Up to turn 1, no, he goes around the outside and backs out of it again. And doesn't get the great exit that he needs to make this overtake happen onto the battery anyways. He's just slowly gaining on the Mercedes. Can he make this overtake happen here? No, he can't, and he's smart not to do so anyway. Maybe into Mirabeau, but he's lost a bunch of time there. He really needs, it's just an opportunity to open up. I think it's going to come very soon here. It's just so hard for Cody Lawrence to keep the car on the racing line and keep it ahead of Eric Carvalho. They almost make contact there. Goes a bit deep into Mirabeau, whatever you call it. And so into Nouvelle Chicane now. He's a lot closer than he was last lap. Does Cody Lawrence go defensive one more time? Yes, he does. Will it be enough, though? He goes around the outside. He's trying, but he will have to concede the position he was trying to gain. And Cody Lawrence stays ahead one more lap. It's going to be lap 38. And then he has to do it 2 more times, and then that is it for Cody Lawrence. Era with a bit of a moment, or at least losing a bit of time. It's going to be very, very crucial that he makes this overtake happen. I think you want to talk John Ranger.
Well, I just want to add, obviously, as well as the description here, Nathan, but Eric Carvalho maybe was, I'm thinking, maybe too aggressive at this point, trying to do the overtakes. He's completely used up his battery, and so that's how important it is to have that ERS to be able to make that overtake happen. And now he's got 2 laps to go, and he's got completely wasted battery. You could tell Cody's tires are yelling at him, probably overheating a little bit. Is Eric going to try the defensive move on Cody Lawrence? He's going to try to switch back around here, down on the Mirabeau O. And Cody Lawrence so far is really showing a mastercraft of defending in Monaco. It is a tight circuit. Otherwise, Eric would have probably been by him quite a while ago. But Cody is defending for his life and with everything he's got except tires, because he's got just about none. We're at lap 38. Eric's going to try once again on the battery. He's giving it all, but not getting the position on track on Cody Lawrence so far. And in the back, we also have Magnussen Cube, who's overtaken Ryan Newton. I don't know if that happened earlier, just a lap earlier, but Magnussen Cube is in P4, despite the time penalty. Maybe that'll help him be further up on the standings despite the penalty. Ladies and gents, we're going on lap 39 of 39. Will Eric Carvalho succeed on the season finale to be overtaking Cody Lawrence? He's going to go on a last desperate switchback dive in turn 1. He's got a better exit out of turn 1. Cody Lawrence closes the door on him. He's going to go on the outside out of Massino over here. Down to the casino straight. He's not able to do the overtake. Cody once again closes the door on the inside. Eris trying on the outside, and he's gonna do a little bit of contact. It's very tight there. A little bit of twitching from Eric's usual lag here, and he's still stuck behind Cody. His last attempt is gonna be here at the tunnel straight, and he's got a way better exit this time. Cody Lawrence is unable to have a great exit, and this is what I was talking to you about, Nathan, as he should have had better battery there. He's gonna go so hard, pushes Cody completely off, goes through the track, and there a true sportsman and true sportsmanship and in gentlemanship moves over, outbraked himself, and gave the position back to Cody. Great way to finish the season, boys. In this season finale, he's gonna try again. There's another contact. I think the pace difference is huge between Eric Carvalho and the end of this race. It's going to be technically Eric Cavallo, but that was a push to pass at the very last corner. That should be Cody Lawrence, and Eric Cavallo did have a time penalty nonetheless. So Cody Lawrence comes away with the win at our season finale in Monaco. Eric Cavallo, spectacular finish from him and Cody in P2. Hudson Poole rounds out the podium in P3. Great race from him. And it'll be Macaulay Bastien, Jakub Karswich. Great. I think that is the best finish from Jakub Karswich. Great showing for the Red Bull driver. Absolute race for Jakub there. Magnussen Cuban P6. I think that is his second top 6 this season. So he's really got to improve the season. Ryan Newton, Maxime Beaulieu, Hector Ochoa, Kyle Blevins, and Antrovetti, Adi Biazza, Jack Fletcher, and Aero is their top 14. Dramatics for Alpine. Quinton K with a puncture. Absolutely destroying the competition. Far in the lead. A puncture has completely ruined his race in turn 1. And so has Dane Clem with a too early of a pit lane pit strategy. And so he also retired. Ladies and gents, that was the end of the season in CRL. But stay tuned as we're going to have interviews from Cody, from Era, and Hudson Poole.
This interview is gonna be so long. Holy. Alright. Well, I guess we have to be ready for it. Are you ready, John?
Absolutely. Why not? It's the season finale. Let's bring the boys in over. Nathan, I'm letting you set up the interviews. We're going to go into our interview lobby here on the stream as well. If team principals want to tag along with their drivers, have some last season, end of season words with us, they are definitely welcome to come discuss on the broadcast. Otherwise, we should expect for the minimum of our top 3 drivers, Cody, Era, and Hudson. Fastest lap is going to go to Hector Ochoa in P8 at a 1:12.1. On the soft tires, he took advantage of the changing conditions at the very end of the race to post this fastest time.
What an exciting race near the end there. Once I saw Quinton K had a puncture and he spun around, I knew it was going to be completely over for him. That's where it really changed today. When Alpine needed a 1-2 the most, they had 1-2 of a different sort. They were 1 and 2 to DNF, I believe. Cody Lawrence is ready to interview. Next, it's going to be... Well, we're going to have Hudson Poole in here first.
Yep.
I hope they're not fighting in the interview room, but we will bring in Mr. Hudson Poole. For Red Bull Racing, Hudson Poole on the 3rd step of the podium. How's it going, Hudson Poole?
Good. This is actually a really good result. I'm happy with it. I probably had a total of 1 hour of practice, so I'm happy with the result and finally happy to install this game.
Yeah, it is the end of F122 for you, Hudson Poole, and unfortunately not the beginning of a new adventure in F123, as you confirmed with us last week. However, I want to turn the attention maybe to your teammate who's finished top 5, and I believe that's his best result this season. How about a word on your teammate Jakub Karswich, and how he ended up his season in Monaco tonight?
Dude, amazing race. He got 5th. I think strategy helped him out, and we had some really fucking good, alright strategies with the team, which was kind of just messy at the end, and he managed to pull off a P5, so I'm really happy with it. He did really good. He barely practices this game because, you know, he's got work and stuff like that, and he doesn't have a lot of time, so for him to get a P5 is really impressive.
Yeah, so you had quite a finish. You had Eric Cavallo and Cody Lawrence really going at it, and you were right there at the end. You did have a bit more penalties than Eric did, though, so that really cost you in the end. But at any time, did you think that maybe you'd be able to catch up to the top 2 and maybe get yourself maybe a step up on the podium, or was it just stay in P3 and accept that result?
I mean, I could probably get rid of those 6 seconds, to be honest. I got a 3-second penalty on lap 1 for exceeding track limits 1 time, and I don't even know, I could probably get it removed. I just set it in deep, and by accident, because I didn't know the braking points with no line on this rain track, and I just made sure I didn't hit Ryan, and I stayed behind him, and he gave me a 3-second time penalty. And then I got another penalty. I can't remember what. I think someone was on like slow inners or slicks, and and I don't know. But I probably won't bother. I won't really change anything for me in the final standings, but I didn't really think I had a chance, especially with Era on slick tires and Cody. Cody had a good pace on the inners.
Talk to us about the. Well, actually, I want to know two things. I'm gonna give you a double whammy here, Hudson, real quick. We know you're not racing next season. Real quick, are you gonna be implicated in a team somewhat next season, or will you just be backing away for now?
I will, if I get to a point where I don't have the F123 game by the start of the season, I will be like a part of a team. I'll engineer or something like that. But I'll most likely be there. I'll just work extra hours so I can. It won't affect my bank account too hard. But yeah, after that race, it was pretty fun.
All right, really interesting. And real quick, how did you handle with the changing of the wet to the slick tires, which was really difficult? I think one of the most difficult challenges we've seen. Was it all year? I'm gonna call it all year. I don't remember a race where it took so long for the dry line to appear. How did you handle that with? I believe Duncan was your engineer.
NBA engineered me today,
Right.
and he kind of saved me because I was like, we should just go slicks. He was like, no, everyone's dying out there, so just keep it on inners. So I put it on inners again. Arrow must have had such high tire pressures. Not sure how he managed to get him that far, but I had to pit early. And for the inners and the dry line, definitely towards the end of the race when everyone was on slicks, it felt really good. And I could have pitted, but if I were to have pitted, I would have dropped position. So yeah, I don't know.
Any more questions, Nathan?
Further for me.
All right, Hudson. Congratulations on P3. Great ending to your season. Two-part season for you and the Division 1. We'll see you in some form or another next season. And congratulations for this season. And have yourself a good off-season. Well, much deserved. We'll crack open a good one. Cold one, if you're allowed. I don't know how old you are. Doesn't matter. I don't... I did that mistake once with Nathan Doan. I won't do it again. And there it is. Have a good one, Hudson.
All right. Thank you.
Alright, so Cody will be 5 minutes time, but that's okay because we have Eric Cavallo anyway. I'm sure you'll take up all that time. Take a swig if you need to, because you're probably gonna need to. I'm gonna bring him in. I'm gonna bring in our P2 finisher. I'm gonna bring in the main man, Eric Cavallo. P2 for Haas. How's it feeling here?
Hey Derek, good evening everybody. Oh man,
evening.
was so hard fought to win this race. When I saw Quinton when he spun and he broke his wing, I knew it was going to be the day. But yeah, it was so hard to overtake Cody. He was making everything he can to defend. It's like almost impossible to overtake him in this track. So I had a penalty. I will argue on that because I had nowhere to go, so who knows. But for the race, I was struggling by the start with the rain. When the rain was gone, the track was still wet. I felt more grip. I was cutting to Quinton and gapping to Cody. The pace was very good. I think I should not have stopped. Should have kept to the end. I don't know if my intermediate tires won't make it. But yeah, I think after everything, after messing my qualifying, I could have started on P2 or P3. So after all, it's a good position.
How did you manage the switch from? Because that's a question from Hudson as well, and so I don't know. I want to know if your engineer played a big part into that strategy. How did you manage the switch from the wet conditions going into the dry line, which seemingly took forever in these kinds of conditions in Monaco tonight?
I didn't have an engineer. When there's rain, I prefer to be my own engineer, because I usually have the good calls. Was not case today, I guess. my tires, when I stopped, my tires were almost 80s, so I'm not sure if I could make to the end. Maybe I should have tried soft tires. I really don't know. But yeah, I think when I stopped, I was losing time, start to lose time, because guys behind had much better tires. Um, yeah, I think that's it. I'm still very disappointed. But that's it. To the next game, I guess.
Nathan, any
So-
more questions for her?
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's gonna mean you're gonna make a return next season, then, Era?
Yeah, for sure, I'll be there.
Oh,
I hope to get to the pace, up to the pace in like some weeks, because I usually have a slow start on the new games because I don't have a lot of time to practice. But eventually I'll get up to the pace, so I will be there.
It'll be really exciting to see you in F1 23 era. There's a couple drivers who are leaving us from Division 1, some top drivers. I'm sure you're aware of that. And there'll be some new drivers as well. And with completely revised physics where it might change a little bit on, who's the quicker drivers in Division 1. Well, throughout the divisions, I'll say. But so far, you've proved once you got past Cody Lawrence and it was you against Quinton, we're really gaining time on him, and which really showed your race pace in the wets. And it was unfortunate for Quinton to get his puncture on his tire, completely ruined his race. And yeah, indeed, 80% is, as you mentioned, was probably risky, but a good call to go change into the pits. Era, P2 finish, really exciting race you gave us in Monaco. So thank you for that. Thank you for giving us an exciting race, because as broadcasters, me and Nathan definitely had a lot of fun talking about the Division 1 Monaco race. And we will be seeing you next season, sir. Congratulations again for P2 finish.
Thank you everybody. Thank you, John, Nathan, and everybody from ZRL. Thank you guys. See you next season.
Take care, bro. All right,
that's a
Nathan.
record time.
Absolutely.
All right,
Well
we'll
done
bring-
from Era. Let's bring in Cody. Hopefully he's not disappointed
Cody
this time.
No,
Yeah,
not
right.
particularly. Uh, go ahead, everyone. Go ahead, you two. Sorry.
I'll start us off. So near the end there, you're definitely shaking in your boots. I'd assume from you have Era on medium tires. He's absolutely chasing you down. You did a great job defensively, though. Do you think that you just had it handled the whole way through, or did you maybe expect a dive bomb from him?
Well, that's why I was defending the inside every third quarter, guys. I was like, he is not getting the inside on me. I am covering the inside every possible position for you to get a nose alongside. So I mean, I'd say everything except Rascas was quite respectful for Mara, so thank you on that. Rascas, I think I almost can't blame him for him sending me into Rascas on the last lap, to be frank. Like, I just tried to defend for all I was worth. I was telling Carl, and actually there's like 6 other people in the Merc VC for that one. I was telling them, I'll defend this for all I was worth, because I was so bad in the first stint. I'll try to make it up in this, and... Well, you guys tell me, did I make it up in that stint? That final stint?
Well, for a driver who was saying you didn't like Monaco, and I'm reading the Division 1 general chat there where you weren't particularly excited for the full race and want to get over and done with. As I told Era, you guys gave us a spectacular finish. Quentin K as well with his puncture. Unfortunately for him, however.
He had that one, man.
Absolutely fine.
I partly feel bad for him, but it partly was like, I wonder if he could have done something different there. Just for the looks of it. I don't know if he would be able to have... Surely would have been able to have pit at some point and not have to risk the puncture, right? Am I crazy?
I mean,
you guys tell me.
I think it was far ahead enough that it could work. However, maybe he was trying to cover off an undercut, possibly from you, possibly from Era. And then I did finish top 3 without pitting in Division 3. So that may have been an influence. NVA also did it without pitting. I think that Division 3 may have influenced some engineers. I did have 95% rear left tire, which is the tire that punctured for Quinton K. So I think that just tells me how lucky I was in my Division 3 race in that situation. But nonetheless, Cody, we want to thank you again for an exciting race. Congratulations for P1 finish. One last question, Cody. I asked a question to Hudson. Not sure. I think Hudson will, in the end, is going to be back in F1. I know you are thinking about taking a break from racing, but are you taking a break as a driver racing, or are you going to be within ZRL, maybe within a team, be it Mercedes or whichever team you want to be with, to, I don't know, coaching, engineering? What are your plans for the upcoming weeks?
Watch this space. Watch this space, Ranger. Watch this space, Nathan. I'm thinking about it. I mean, not really as a driver. I'm definitely what I've kind of promised to myself is I'm giving myself a month away from the game, at least bare minimum. Waiting to see how the launch goes. Waiting to see how the response is. Waiting to see if this game is worth driving another game cycle. Like I've given myself a month in that regard. There's people I've been talking to that are I wouldn't say interested in my services, but if I can help them, they'd be welcome to it. So we'll see.
How much do you charge, Cody?
I definitely, well, I should charge more than I do, which is nothing. I should really, I don't get rich doing this. I don't make anything doing this, to be frank to you.
Neither do we.
If only.
If only, right?
If only. But no. Like I said, definitely give myself a month as a driver. I think in order for me to be of help to people, I would still need to drive the game and kind of get a direction I want to go in with it. And I would say this, if anything, if this is the last race I do here, I think that's one hell of a send-off, trying to defend for my life at Monaco, trying to be the akin to the Mexican Minister of Defense, I would say, in that Mercedes. So if this is the last one I do, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think Nathan would agree with me on this one. This is one for the history books. It'll go into the ZRL archives, and once we go make a video of ZRL best moments, I definitely agree on putting this last lap into those best moments that ZRL has given us, thanks to you and Era.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, respect to Era. He could have just sent me straight into a barrier at some point, and he didn't. I was at least a second or two slower, but I wanted to win that one, man. I was going to give it all I had. I had nothing to lose. He had more to lose than I did, I think, if I'm being frank with you. So, yeah, I mean, I wanted to win that one, and, well, I think I did for now, as it stands, so. Yeah, there's a lot of things a lot more I could say. I don't want to make you guys sit here and listen to a speech for 2 decades, but.
I mean, Nathan, are you used to it?
No. I try to have a conversation with y'all, not a one-sided, like me talking to you. Y'all talking to me, and I'm trying to talk to y'all. That's how.
Absolutely. I'm good with my questions, though. Nathan, I don't know if you got any other questions. Final words for Cody.
I mean, if we interview for like 30 more seconds, I think we beat Eric Cavallo's time tonight.
I don't know. If it was... 30 more seconds.
I don't know if it was brought up already, because honestly, I was not paying attention. Constructors Championship definitely sealed now.
Oh yeah. So, no, thank you to Hector on bringing another solid result out of that and surviving that wet period, because that was not easy. Like I said, I was struggling mightily in that. Hector was. We were both actually having massive screen tearing issues with that first stint. Like I literally it would be more screen tears than corners I was taking at a time. So happy to him to bring it back in one piece. And thanks to all of Mercedes, Carl, Simon, Max, Kamari, Kenny, Mr. Baby, Hector, Leo, Gore, all of them. All of them that have been a help. I mean, hell, even Joel and Dougie was in VC for that Monaco race. Thanks to them for being there. I definitely appreciate it all. I appreciate all the effort they put in. So, thank you to them. I'm very thankful for that.
Thankful as always, Cody Lawrence, our constructors championship with Mercedes, our world champion in Division 1 was confirmed last race, but once again, now you could actually celebrate. You're actually happy about it. You don't have to think about anything else, Cody. Go ahead and crack open a cold one for yourself tonight. Have fun with it, and then install F122, and we'll see you in some form or another at some point, I'm pretty sure. I have a little bit of a gut feeling for F123. Maybe not next season, but soon enough. We'll see you there, Cody. Thank you again for the interview, and have a good off season.
Thank you guys as well. Appreciate y'all. Have a good night. See you guys soon.
All right, good night, Cody. Whew, Nathan.
That was a very long, boring race.
It was actually a fun one. It got fun with
Yeah.
the weather change, most definitely. Nathan, I want to thank you for from one broadcaster to another. Nathan, you joined the broadcasting team. I think towards the end of last season. I think we're doing the lower divisions. Back was me and Buffalo in D1, and I think in D1 you started off. You started off at some point in every single race. You improved in commentary and your race expertise and strategy calls, and giving us a lot of insight throughout the broadcasters. I'm eager and excited to have you again next season. I do believe that is something we could look forward to next season, being back together.
Oh yeah, I hope to be in the broadcast booth with you once again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you've done a great job too. Of course, you know you're our main man here in Division 1, so just great job to you. Of course. Yeah, it's been a good season, huh?
Absolutely an exciting season to have it with you, and for many more races with a new generation of racing, F123 coming along. We don't have dates as of now, unless Duncan Dunn jumps into the booth, but I think he's busy with something else currently. But we don't have dates as of now for drafting. If you are watching us and you are not in our Discord, there are the links in the stream description. Join the Discord. We're gonna have a drafting session live on YouTube. It's always a live draft that we do. We'll see which teams get the first pick, which team gets the last picks. It should be based off of combined constructors. And so if I take a quick look, was that Alpine and combined constructors? Or it should be Mercedes. And then the combined constructors with the first pick. As we're talking now, we're going to compile the points at the end of Monaco for all the divisions. So that being said, the next time we're going to be in a Division 1 stream, a broadcast for you people. It's going to be a new game, new graphics, new physics, the introduction, or the reintroduction, I should say, of red flags. We don't know which track yet, and that all is going to be announced within the upcoming weeks. To everybody watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. I want to bid you good night, farewell, and we'll see you next time. I'll see you next time, Nathan. Thanks again for being here this season in the booth, and I'll see you next season. Good night, everybody.